Hello everyone and welcome back to this very special episode of Square Talking, the Cheshire Freemasons podcast. Tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. We are at Cheshire View with Communications Lodge number 2961 at the great invite of Worshipful Brother Jacob Williams, who is their Worshipful Master, to run a special Square Talking episode. I'm also with my usual hosts of Keith. How are you?
Hello. Yes, I'm good. Thanks. Yeah.
And Neil, how are you tonight?
I'm okay. Yes.
Great. What you guys been up to recently? Anything exciting going down?
Well, you know, I don't know if you can tell by looking at my face, but I had the dog out for a walk last week, and he managed to pull me over, and I face planted into gravel, broken my nose.
Oh my word!
Damaged my hand. So yeah.
What is it with your family and animals?
I don't know. It's like a reverse all creatures great and small, really.
Neil, you had dog excrement all last week,
and
the week before.
I've had it again since as well.
That's like his dog's had the excrement, not he's had the dog.
Yeah. You got taken on by seagulls a couple of weeks ago as well. So are you guys against animals or something in your family?
No, I like to eat them.
I like to eat them. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, not dogs though.
Yeah,
not dogs.
No, obviously, right.
Although I was at a Masonic function recently. This isn't about animals. It's just an insight into my life at the moment. I was at a Masonic function and drinks were had. Went home, had a few nightcaps, and then a few days later I discovered that for some reason I'd bought a wig.
A wig?
A wig turned
like
up.
a full toupee?
A full toupee, a proper sit-up. It looks ridiculous.
It does look ridiculous. I have seen it. It does look ridiculous. I can confirm that.
I'm kind of wanting you to bring it down to the next episode so that I can give you a score on this.
I will do. You should bring it, and then we can take a picture of it and put it up on the socials.
I'm sure our listeners would really like to see you in this drunk purchase.
Yes, drunk shopping is the worst shopping. Mind you, it is a surprise when things turn up sometimes, isn't it? So that's nice.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I've not been doing too much. I'm on days off, so no jetting around for me at the moment, which is great. So I've had a lot of stuff to do, Freemasonry wise. Planning one of our live firsts. So with my ADC role, I've been getting LOI sorted. But other than that, not too much. Okay, so then moving on to tonight, we are here at Cheshire View with our live audience. This is a weird thing for us because we're normally hiding away, and if we make any mistakes, it's not as obvious. But tonight, we're here with a live audience at Cheshire View, and we're going to explore what will Freemasonry look like in 30 years' time. So it gives our chance of our audience to have a little bit of a think now what they think Freemasonry is going to be like in 30 years. And we will start off by us discussing what we think Masonry is going to look like in 2055. Keith, do you have any thoughts initially before we delve into it a little bit deeper?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because change in Freemasonry can be glacially slow sometimes in kind of like changing with the times and and what's going on. And I think that in the future you're probably going to have some further investment in technology, I would suppose. I mean, you see that I'm here tonight in my role as assistant secretary, and I'm using an iPad because I find it easier to read things off the iPad. I can put the settings on it. So the contrast is higher for me, so it makes it easier for me to read. So it's things like that, the use of assisted technology. Also, it'd be interesting to see where we go with the actual learning of ritual, or whether ritual will become something that people are allowed to read
Well, I'm kind of hoping that the Google glasses or whatever it is, they come along enough so I can just wear a normal set of glasses, and the ritual is just on my glasses, so I can just read away and no one knows. But I bought my daughter a VR headset 2 Christmases ago, and I was amazed at how good the games are on the VR headset. And I'm sure I saw an article on a lodge that was they were talking about a lodge being formed where it was a VR lodge. I may be wrong, but I really do distinctly remember seeing a picture about a VR lodge being talked about. And Neil, do you think we'll meet in virtual reality?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? We are today recording this in a lodge room. The glorious surroundings of the Cheshire View main lodge room. But will we be doing this in 30 years' time? Because, as we know, Meta, formerly Facebook, are investing billions in what they call the metaverse. So maybe our lodge rooms will be in the metaverse and we will meet there virtually.
Yeah, I mean, I get the idea behind it, but I think part of the thing with Freemasonry is it's a festive board and getting together at the festive board at the end, and you're not going to have a virtual festive board unless you're sitting there with a tin of beans while other people are sitting around with VR glasses on. So,
I fundamentally agree with you. I think that I've pondered this question most of today, and I think that people crave interaction to a certain degree. And if more and more people are working from home, if more and more people are logging into virtual spaces to do stuff, I think that interaction level, which we get in the lodge room and on the festive board, is something that people crave, a little bit like shopping to a certain degree. People still go out to the shops, even though you can do it online. It's that whole experience of going into the store and looking at, touching and feeling things in the store in a non-weird way.
But by that point, they might have found a way to manipulate our senses so that we think that we're eating a sumptuous 3-course meal at a festive board when really we're just sat
like an
at
episode
home.
of Peter Pan with the imaginary food.
We're just sat at home in our underpants with a VR headset on.
It's just you, really. But I think you do that anyway. But it's, I mean, the interesting thing though with what you're saying there, Iain, is like, about the fact that people still go out shopping and do things, but that's become a lot more of an experience thing, isn't it? People do it as more of a kind of like an event thing. So I wonder what we could do with the festive board to make it more of a kind of like a different thing, more of an event thing. It's so I know we have things like white tables and Comms Lodge do our festive board slightly differently, that we have canapes and things like that. So I just wondering if that is something else that you need to look at evolving, is not just the Masonic side of things, but also the after event side of things, the festive board.
Yeah, no, I think this goes back to the episode where we had the Provincial Grand Master on, where he was talking about times have changed and do we necessarily do things in the correct order now? Should we do all of the admin stuff at the start of the meeting so that then it gives people who are running slightly later because of work, etc., to come to the meeting and not miss the main bit of the meeting? And so I do think that things have to evolve, but when I think back to 1995, which would be 30 years previous from here, I think one of the only things that's probably changed is we've embraced digital communications. And I think that where minutes were read out in the lodge meeting, we now do that all digitally. But I suppose you could say that this whole lodge, communications lodge, has evolved drastically and come about by the immersion of digital communications.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that all the people that are some of the members here from this lodge may have some other ideas on this, as that they're all comms experts, but it might be that it's their forte and it's their things that they've specialised in, which has come about within the last 30 years because of the dawn of the internet.
Sorry, go on now.
Do you think AI will impact upon Freemasonry?
Oh, definitely. Because you can just say, write me a visitor's speech for a festive board.
I mean, you've not done that today.
So, it can help in that kind of things. It can certainly help in the sort of like marketing side of things and
What about in the lodge room?
communication. Sorry?
In the lodge room?
In the lodge room.
Yeah. AIDCs.
In respect of
Like a prompter, you've got that incorrect.
How would you have an AIDC? What would that involve?
Well, we don't know what technology is going to be like in the future. It could be a hologram in the corner of the room. It could be an earpiece, and it's telling you what to say or where you've gone wrong, giving you a little prompt.
Tutting. It's I suppose so. I mean, you don't know where things are going with things like robotics and things like that. And would you, if you look at the likes of the Tesla bot and things like that, if you could program something which was completely, like you said, the blue book.
Word for word.
Word for word. Word for word. If you could program a robot to do that, or an android or whatever to stand there, and it's prompting, and it's, as you say, it's doing the DC side of things. Is that a bad thing, do you think?
Would you give a robot the sword to be Tyler?
Well, no, because I've seen Terminator. So, yeah, there's certain roles you wouldn't let it have, just in case. But yeah, I mean, you don't know how far things are going to go. And I mean, it's like just going back a bit to what we were saying about what you're saying, Iain, about eagle glass and things like that. How would that be looked upon, do you think, if you were, as worshipful master, standing there and you're doing, I don't know, initiation or something, and you are reading it as off your glasses as it goes?
I think there's going to be a bit of a mix of opinion here. I think the younger brethren would say that's embracing technology and that's tools there to help them, whereas maybe some of the older brethren would say that's not how it is supposed to be done. I don't know. That's my opinion. I'm sure it might be a little bit controversial, and other people have some ideas, and I'm looking forward to.
So where does it come from, do you think, that ritual has to be learned by rote, or it's expected that ritual is learned by rote, and not read?
I think that is down to character and I suppose the little bit of showmanship to a certain degree, and a little bit of showing commitment to what you're trying to do and getting things correct. It shows that you put an effort in. I think that's what it's about. It's about the level of effort that you're putting in into your Freemasonry, is that you're showing that you're putting a lot of effort in by learning the ritual. I think going back in history, obviously we've discussed that a lot of people were illiterate, so things had to be learned, and I think that's where we talked about in the history episode, where we went back a little bit, that, and when we're going back to stonemason guilds, that things were physically learned because they couldn't read them. So I think that tradition has come through. Do I think it will survive? Certain things, I don't think it detracts from it. But there is a certain pleasure in someone delivering a really good piece, I think.
But I think nowadays we do have a greater understanding of neurodiversity needs, people who may struggle to remember, people with dyslexia, and and to encourage people with those neurodiversity issues, but like myself, someone who's dyslexic, I think we should only embrace these endeavours moving forward to make it more inviting and easier for brethren who have got neurodiversity issues.
Maybe that's where we'll be in 30 years' time, is it won't be an either-or thing. It will wind up being a hybrid thing. Whereas if you do want to learn everything by rote, you can do. If you're going to do it with your glasses on, and people can't tell that you're doing it, that's fine as well.
Maybe, so maybe we'll get into more of the special interest lodge, where you may get a special interest lodge that really focuses on the people that are really good at delivery and learning, and they will do it a little bit more old school than a hybrid option.
Yes.
That may be out there. I don't know. I think we're about to come to that time where we can we've talked enough, and our audience have had quite a few minutes to think and ponder while we've been talking. So we can throw it out for a few ideas. So now it's your turn to come with some questions.
I can see them sat there and they are all chomping at the bit.
Right. Well, I'm just going to get and switch over onto my roving mic. So, and then we'll go and see what people think.
Yeah, when you not so much a question, but when you were saying there about why we learn the ritual, we talk about Freemasonry taking good men and making them better. Don't you think that's part of it? If you learn it, that makes good men. That's part of the way that you at least become better.
Definitely, and I think that's a lot of the attraction for learning the ritual, and it shows that you are putting that time and investing that time into yourself. But as Neil has said, is that if there is an impediment or some sort of reason why we should embrace that as a collective, to facilitate their success and to allow them to feel as part of it as we do now, which we do now. It's just we're going to use technology to aid that aiding of success. I think that's my answer to that.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it in a previous podcast, didn't we, about the fact that personally, for me, Freemasonry has been brilliant in developing the skill of public speaking. And, I couldn't imagine 15, 20 years ago, I'd be standing here with a microphone in front of people, just talking things through and taking questions and what have you. So, yeah, I mean, that's for my own personal development. It's been brilliant for that. Have you got anything to say, Neil?
No, not at this point.
Right. Okay. So is there any other questions at all? All right. We've got one at the back.
Hi, I'm Kevin Kennedy. Just a couple of observations on AI. I think the most powerful use of AI in Freemasonry would be in mentoring or tuition. So if you couple AI with, say, the Solomon website, you have your own personal tutor to take you through it. That could be quite powerful. But when it comes to the lodge, I think it's important, especially in 30 years' time, when the whole world is immersed in AI, to have a center, to have a place to come and to keep, the morals in the right direction. So learning the ritual, being here in presence, making the effort will be quite important to take yourself away from the AI part. So I see it more as a preparatory tool than something to actually facilitate running a lodge, as it were, because we will need that moral compass, I think, even more in the future as we get diluted by technology.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really interesting point now that when we are surrounded by tech and we can't get away from it, is it going to be nice to have somewhere that's a step back from that, and back to how things used to be?
I completely agree. I actually definitely think that's, if I had to put my money on something, I think that's what it would be. I think it would be that outside of Freemasonry world, everything is absorbed in technology, and here is one of them places where tradition is a little bit more, and it's that nice step back from that world.
Certainly an interesting concept.
You got anything further to add to that?
No.
Right. Okay. So, are there any other points to raise or questions? Oh, okay. Just introduce yourself and say what you want.
I'm Jacob Williams. So my question to you guys is, obviously 30 years is a long time. And obviously we've seen Solomon from UGLE sort of have the AI concepts added to it. But what do you each think is the next sort of big change that we'll see?
Oh,
I think it will just become more immersive. I think that's the next logical step for me, is that, especially because we gamify everything, and immersion in that. I don't know if you've seen the movie Ready Player One.
Yes.
But that is what I think, that we are going in that more direction where people meet in the metaverse, in the universe, and they don't actually leave their homes as much, and they have a lot more social circles that immersed in that world. And I imagine younger people and kids do that now. I know I've got a 14-year-old daughter, and she plays Roblox all the time and is immersed in that a little bit, and I think it's more emerging.
I think these technologies as well will make the secretary's life a heck of a lot easier, because as we can see now, you've already got apps and devices that allow you to send emails out at certain times and certain dates. Something that can summarize the information in emails, and so that the secretary will have more time to arrange the actual meetings, and rather than doing faffy admin around the side, which seems to annoy a lot of secretaries. I don't know.
I think to go to the question of what the next big thing is, or what the next big change is going to be, I think it's going to be the fact that you're going to have people joining Freemasonry who are digital natives. It's like, because people my age can remember pre-internet. And then people that have come after me will, younger than me, will have just been grown up and used to the internet being there as a resource. But the next step is going to be, my son, instead of, I'll sit there and I'll type a question into Google, whereas it's just like, I'll ask Siri, see what Siri thinks. And it's that nativism to the tech that I think is going to be the next big thing, that it won't be strange to kids growing up. The ones that are going to be coming into Freemasonry, that it will be expected, that the fact that the tech is there to support them.
I was reading an article that was saying that technology is rewiring children's brains.
Mm-hmm.
So people of a certain age, when they go to turn on and off light switches, they'll do it with their index finger, whereas kids growing up now do it with the thumb, because they're so used to using their thumbs on mobile phones. So it's already,
and games consoles as well. And it's already influencing, yeah. But I mean, it's like, the millennials, certainly Gen Z. It's as I say, I just think that next step is going to be it's expected, because that's what they have grown up surrounded by.
Do you think we're moving quick enough?
That's an interesting question.
As a collective, as Freemasonry in general, are we moving quick enough?
I think at the moment it's too soon to say, because a lot of these technologies are what we would say emerging technologies. We don't know what the full impact of, say, artificial intelligence, VR is going to have on the world in 5 years, 10 years, let alone 30 years. So I think once we have a better understanding of how this technology can help us improve the organisation, that's when we'll know whether we're moving quick enough.
Maybe we could ask our audience, who thinks we are moving quick enough as a show of hands?
What do you mean by moving? What moving?
Is UGLE and Cheshire embracing technology quick enough as it sort of?
Yeah,
I think the comms team will say yes.
Yeah.
I don't know whether anybody else outside of the comms environment was.
Yes, just got a point being raised. The back there. If you could just give us your name, please, and your point.
Yeah, Steve Williams. For me, technology is there to help me, not to take over my life. It certainly helps with the comms team to be able to get a press report in and say, well, it's about this charity. Well, it would have taken a lot of research. Now I just Google them. As the secretary, there's now an app to help the secretary, and it really does. So from that point of view, yes, we are embracing technology. Now, whether or not AI will be able to use it to our benefit is another matter. I'm not even on the fence, I'm on the other side. For me, a lodge room, ritual should be the ritual. Okay, we are moving fast away from the day when the particular officer who is supposed to do the work has to do it. In my lodge, we're moving away from that, and a degree work is shared by everybody. so that the workload is a lot less and a lot more people enjoy it. So that point, no, technology, I wouldn't want technology to help with that. Maybe learning the ritual to be able to have something that you can learn with, great, but in the lodge room, nah.
Here's a question. In 30 years' time, how many other Masonic traditions will we still have? Will we still be wearing the aprons that we're wearing today? Will we still be wearing the gloves?
I don't think that's going to change.
No, I wouldn't think that's changed.
Yeah.
I think that's part of
The identity
yes, what we are. Yeah,
of what we are. I think that there will be a balance because there will be the older generation that doesn't embrace technology, and that's now, and we still make allowances for that. And that has to be done universal for everyone. So I think we'll probably end up in the middle ground. I think will be the actual answer.
I mean, I think just going back to what was being said there as well about things are adapting, and it's like kind of like offline tech, as in sharing the workout in the lodge and what have you. That's brilliant, and that is really helpful as well. So it will be interesting to see with AI where it goes with that. But as Neil said before, I think we've all agreed that it's a bit too early to tell, don't you?
So there's another question that we have here, which we may throw out. Do we ever think that male and female masonry will come together?
Well, administratively, they've already started that journey, haven't they? By combining something ugly, haven't they, to the first. Sorry, correct. The Council for Freemasonry has become one, haven't they? And the first, is it president? Is a female Freemason? So that process has started already.
How do people feel about the possibility of mixed gender lodges? Is that something that people would encourage? I know that I've listened to a few arguments, and I personally don't think it will happen. But I think that they like the separation. But I don't know. 30 years, things may have changed.
Okay, so I'm going to come out now and ask people what they think. So we've got Mark Hayes sitting here. What do you think? Do you think that we will have lodges with both men and women in them?
I think you've got to look at the structures of the female lodges, because their festive board is very much different than ours. It's DIY in most of it, which actually might be the way we have to go, because let's be honest with you, we can't afford the halls. The halls are going to get too expensive as the numbers drop off. We've already seen it, well, obviously with the number of halls that we've lost. So it might be we have to embrace the way of doing stuff, because that's how they do it in Scotland. I mean, if you go to Scotland, most of their lodges are quite informal in the festive board. They actually organise it themselves, so it might work.
I mean, that's an interesting point, that, because we've been touching on tech and where are we going to be in 30 years' time with tech. But it's also like, well, what will the halls look like? Will we have as many Masonic halls as we've got now? It's how, what is that going to look like as well? And does that mean that we'll be sharing halls with the Lady Freemasons? It's to save costs.
We could all be going out to fine dining lodges just to try and get another plug for my fine dining lodge.
Obsessed with the fine dining lodge. Just for our visitors tonight, we didn't hear the podcast. Iain's quite keen on having a fine dining lodge.
Well, I've changed my mind now. It's going to be a fine dining chapter of Royal Arch, because then we only have to do one exaltation and then we can go and eat. So.
Yes, yeah. And we've also decided that Neil's going to be banned because he drops gravy on people at festive boards. So, yeah.
Not just gravy. Remember that instant where I accidentally smashed the glass and it went into that chap's hand?
Yes, I do remember that.
There was blood everywhere. It was very embarrassing. I had to make a lot of profuse apologies.
Oh. It's like going to a festive ball with Frank Spencer. Yes, Chalky, yeah.
Just a thought, because everybody's talking about the membership dropping. I mean, we've been having more digital marketing campaigns, and last Saturday there was one in Stockport where there were 20 males attended 2 females. All but one of those actually inquired for more information. So as AI, apparently, according to the experts, is going to enhance all our jobs, making us having more leisure, you not think that people will be looking more for the moral side, and well, our physical lodges will become much more important as a gathering place for people who have a lot more time, because we are going to have a lot more time. I'm of an age where I'll have a lot more time fairly soon and get my pension fairly soon. But for all those younger ones, they're not going to be working 40, 50, 60 hours.
I really think that this is the dawning of a great possibility of expansion for Freemasonry if we get it right and pitch it right, as to the fact that people will have more free time. People will want that social interaction. And we could offer them as a hub, some place to meet, and to tick all the boxes that they don't.
Does anything have to change in Freemasonry to make the organisation more appealing to younger people?
I think that is the universal question, which people are probably scratching their heads a lot about.
It's cost. If you think about how much masonry is now costing for a lot of young people, it will be significant because, let's be honest with you, buying a house now, it's a major investment.
Well, most young people can't afford to get on the property ladder, can they?
Well, maybe. I mean, that's something else to be thinking about in 30 years' time. What does their whole fee structure look like? You know, how will that work, and what will that look like? I'm being directed over here. Who am I got to speak to over here?
Ask a young person. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Just give me your name.
George Smith. So I've been a Mason for just over 12 months. I'm only 22. I think for getting young people, and I think it probably will be difficult. I'm a Mason because my dad's one, and my granddad was one before him. So I'm a Lewis, so I've grown up with it. I've always wanted to be one. And then I've got asked. I just kind of just said, yeah, I'll join kind of thing. But I think there is also a lot of interest behind it as well. It's just getting out to there for people to have to ask questions about it, because I'm quite open about being a Mason. If anyone asks, well, like I got changed at work today, for example, and they're like, oh, where you going? I'll go to a lodge meeting, and then they go, oh yeah, you're Freemason? I was like, yeah, and then they ask questions about it and all that. So I think it's just getting the kind of more spread of the word out there. I think cost is a good point. I'm in a fortunate position that I've just bought my first house, which again at 22 is quite young. Most people haven't, and I do work a good steady job, and so the cost doesn't affect me as much. But I think for people like university lodges, you see it there as well with cost. Obviously, has to be subsidised and stuff like that. So I think that is a very good point about cost as well, and something that to try and get young people in would always be a factor, because, like I said, most 22-year-olds necessarily couldn't or wouldn't be able to afford it. So I think unless someone's done that side of things, then I think there will be an issue trying to get young people in all honesty.
Right, okay, well, that's a very good point now about costs. And, as I say, what will that look like in the future? So I was just going to, last call, if there's any other questions or any points anyone wants to raise before we close for the evening. Yeah, if you could just give your name. Any questions?
Derek Brooke. Right. The Craft and Royal Arch are considered to be one organisation. Do we think that that's going to change the way we do our masonry in our lodges?
Ooh, that's a good question, because it has. I'm going to come and sit down now. It has over time definitely pretty become one thing, hasn't it?
Is it that better?
Sorry, I'm just going to move my mic. Well,
I think that personally, that will be more integrated. I think the integration will grow even more. I personally would like to see maybe some of the other orders brought in. It's a little bit of a frustration for me that on the portal can't see the other side orders that I'm involved in, and that is a slight frustration for me, which I would like to see addressed. But that's only my opinion. one place.
We have got an upcoming podcast on side orders, haven't we?
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing.
But I think with the Royal Arts and Crafts, they've got a lot closer, and I think they will continue to do so. I don't see any reason why not. Any other thoughts?
No, I completely agree with that. Right, so in our next section, this is a regular feature we have on the show. We have an imaginary time capsule. And it's like the TARDIS, it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. So what we'd like you guys to do today is to tell us what Masonic items you would like us to put in our Masonic time capsule, which will be opened up in 100 years' time.
I think we'll go to the Worshipful Master first of Comms Lodge.
Sorry, I'm wrapped up in the wires here.
Yeah, you're doing some
There we
sort of
go.
jig.
Right, okay, sorry. Go on.
It's got to be the Comms Lodge bell.
So would you like to explain to the audience what the Comms Lodge bell is?
So when you become a member of Communications Lodge 2961, you also become a member of the Most Worshipful Order of the Clangers. And should you drop a clanger, there's normally a forfeit of some kind. It's normally sort of a buy someone a pint at a festive board or a little donation to charity.
And is it not also the tradition that if a member of Comms Lodge gets their bell rung at them and they can't respond likewise with a bell, there is a forfeit?
That is correct.
And if anybody would like to join Comms Lodge, we will tell you the story of the clanger and the history of the bell. So, yeah, so that's going into the time capsule. Anything else anyone would like to put into the time capsule?
We'd like at least 3 items from you.
Yes, it's got to be at least 3. I'm going to come to Mark again.
A sword, because I reckon they're going to be banned by then.
Sword.
And why do we need a sword, Mark?
Because it's ritual, Tyler.
Okay. Just because some of our audience might not be Freemasons and we need to explain to them why there is a sword going in there.
Yeah, we don't all walk around armed all the time, I would point that out. The last item to go in? Any suggestions at all? Go on, I'm going to come over to Jamie.
Perhaps a copy of the current ritual book with the conversations we've had tonight, that if things are going to change, people can look back and see what the ritual was now and look back to see what has changed in the 100 years.
Funny you should say that, Jamie. I put the exact same item in the first episode because I had the exact same thought. Okay. Now, the next thing that we do on every show, we ask our guests what 3 words sums up Freemasonry for them. So, open this up to the floor again.
So just one word each.
1 word each.
1 word each until we get to 3 words. So, first word.
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie. Next word. I'm going to start picking people now. Next word.
Discovery.
Camaraderie, discovery, and charity. So camaraderie, discovery, and charity.
And tonight is going to be the night, Neil, for you to put this to bed, because I'm so tired of asking you if you've come up with your last word.
I can't even remember what my first 2 words were.
It doesn't matter. You're just going to give us a word, and then we can put this to bed.
Friendship.
Friendship. Thank the Lord. We've got a word out of Neil. So
I'm sure he had that as his first word when he started. But
it's ended. It's ended.
Right.
We're putting that one to bed.
Okay, so that brings to an end our recording, our live recording of Square Talking Podcast. Thanks to everyone for being part of this live recording. It's the first time that we've done this, and but especially thanks to Communications Lodge number 2961 to allow us to do it and to help us explore what Freemasonry might become in the decades ahead. And it's clear that while the tools and times may change, principles that bind us, being brotherhood, truth, and charity, will always endure. So I'd like to encourage you to continue this conversation online. So if you've got any questions for us, Or if you've got any suggestions for what you want the future podcast subjects to be, you can email us at podcast@cheshiremasons.co.uk. Our website is cheshirefreemasons.org.uk/square talking, and we've got Instagram at Cheshire PGL, and as we always say, we are also on the TikTok. So that's it from me and from all of us tonight. So thanks for listening, and see you next time.